Alright, good day everyone. So today we're gonna do another unboxing video, and this time it's gonna be the SH Monsterarts MOGERA from the 1994 movie Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. But before we begin, I'd like to invite everyone to please subscribe to the channel and hit on the notification bell to get the latest updates from the hobbyist. So yeah, let's begin. This is by all means a collector's item. It's a 10-year-old SH Monsterarts figure, and I'm surprised the box is still pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky that we are able to source and find a collector that's willing to part with one of these. This is probably released 10 years ago. Yeah, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's around May 2012, and it's probably the sixth or seventh SH Monsterarts figure that was released by Bandai. So I'm pretty excited on what it looks like, because I from the stills, from the other reviews, I think it's pretty cool. So special thanks to my fellow Godzilla collector Eric Fulion for hooking us up on one of these. I'm super excited on seeing what this thing can do. Anyway, this is what the box looks like. So this is the front of the box. It's the classic SH Monsterarts box, where you could still see the figure from the outside and from the top, as you can see there. SH Monsterarts logo, Bandai Tamashii Nations, and then as you can see, the trademark information is still 2012. And then on the side, you can see a picture of Mogera, the figure, and the nice thing, there's kind of like a hologram going on the print, which is pretty cool. On the other side, same thing. Again, the box is as premium as you can get. And at the back, you can see a small poster of the movie and some poses that you could do with the figure. So yeah, it has a lot of gimmicks. It has a lot of accessories. So yeah, without further ado, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open the box and see what the figure looks like. Okay, so out of the box, this is what we have. So we have the M.O.G.E.R.A figure. We also have an extra pair of hands, which has the spiral grenade missile attached to it, which is also removable by a peg. And then we also have the maser cannon, which is attached to the chest of M.O.G.E.R.A. And then for the effect part, it also has the maser cannon beam. Later on, we'll show you how to attach that as well. And then we also have 4 pieces for the flight mode. Basically, we have here the neck piece, the tail piece, and then the wings. And then we also have the effect parts for the spiral grenade missile. So this basically attaches to the hands, and then the missile is attached to the end of it. So we'll show that as well later on. And then one thing that's pretty cool about these early Tamashii Nation stands, it's actually more like a mini diorama on its own. So it has like some road details and some building details already, and not like the Tamashii stands that we're accustomed to. This one already works like a small diorama when you pose it with the figure, so that's pretty cool. So it has 2 of them. So one is just a road and some textured lot, if you will, and then the other one is basically we have like a pair of buildings, some small houses, and then a road. So pretty cool. Okay, so without further ado, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna show you all the accessories and how they connect to the figure. Okay, so let's start with the maser cannon first. So this is actually the main weapon of M.O.G.E.R.A. So to attach it to the figure, all you need to do is just lift M.O.G.E.R.A.'s giant saw blade at the back. So it will reveal a button on the back right there. and all you need to do is just push that button and to catch and to remove the original chest piece right here. And as you can see on the chest piece, there is this groove here at the top. You'll find the same groove on the Maser cannon, and all you need to do is just to line it up on Mogera's chest and then push it back, and you'll know that it's already on the correct position if you can see the button back on Mogera's back. So there you have it. So that's Mogera's Maser cannon. Next is the Maser cannon effect. So this is the Maser cannon effect. So it's a rainbow colored one, similar to how they implemented the beam from Mechagodzilla. So this basically has a peg hole right here in order for you to connect the Tamashii stand, and all you need to do is to line it up with Mogera's Maser cannon like so, and there you have it. So that's basically Mo.G.E.R.A firing its Maser cannon. Okay, so next is Mo.G.E.R.A's extra pairs of hands. So as I've mentioned earlier, these are the articulated hands of Mo.G.E.R.A. So it opens and closes. It doesn't have a lock, so they just line up well with each other. But when you open it, it reveals the spiral grenade missile. And the spiral grenade missile is just connected to the hands using a peg right here, and that peg is actually removable. So the reason why we remove the peg is to connect it to one of the effect parts. So here is an example of it. So all you need to do is just to plug it in, and basically that's what it looks like. So it looks like the missile has been fired from Mo.G.E.R.A's hand. And you need this peg. Make sure not to lose it, because that's the one that you will attach to the effect part and onto the arm right there. So that's what it looks like. Now if you want to make it longer, you could, and the way to do that is basically you will attach this piece, the end of one of the effect parts, and then attach it to the extender. So there is like this short piece right, let's see if I can focus. Yeah, there's a shorter end right there that you could attach to the other piece right here. So now it's a very long trail, smoke trail, and then finally you can attach it to Mo.G.E.R.A's arm, to Mo.G.E.R.A's hand right here. So it's pretty long, and it's gonna be front heavy, yes, but there is a hole right here where you could attach the Tamashii stand so that to support the weight of this smoke trail. So yeah, so that's how you attach the spiral grenade missile to the effect part. Now going back to Mo.G.E.R.A, to replace the hands, they're just connected by a peg, as you can see here. I'm going to see if we can show you the hole. Yeah, so there's just a peg hole right there. So it's an easy remove. So you just remove it from Mo.G.E.R.A's hand and then slide in the articulated one. So now you have Mo.G.E.R.A sporting the articulated hand. Okay, so now we're gonna do the flight pose. So for the flight pose, basically we're gonna connect the neck piece first. So to do that, it's actually connected by a peg on Mo.G.E.R.A's head. So just support the neck piece and then pull it up. So now that you've removed the neck, you can remove the head from the neck piece like so. And then what I do usually is I replace the head first. Okay, now that we have that, we can replace the neck piece onto Mogera's head. So now it's looking up. Okay, so next are the wings. So the wings, what I do is I move the arms out of the way first because it's gonna be connected on the hips. And here, this is basically the part that we are going to replace. So all you need to do is just to push the top part so that you have more wiggling room at the bottom right here. And then just remove that piece. And then replace it with one of those wing pieces. And then do the same thing on the other side. Now we have the wings, and then finally we have the tail piece. So for the tail piece, we have this slot here, and all you need to do is just to pry it out like so. And once we remove that, you can replace it with the tail piece right here and just connect that. So now we have the tail piece. So all we need to do now is So all we need to do now is just to line them all up and probably put Mogera's hands on the side like that. And we have Mogera's flying pose. So yeah. So now, what we're gonna do next is we are gonna see what the figure looks like and how it moves, and look at the articulation and paint application of the figure. Okay, so in terms of sculpt, I like what SH Monsterarts did here. It's really a premium figure. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the feet are die-cast metal. It's cold, so I know it's die-cast metal. And then there are some parts of it, I'd say just the feet. So the feet are die-cast metal, the rest of it is made of plastic. Yeah, but the finish, everything is really well made. And as you can see here, the details are phenomenal. It even has some details on the cockpit of the M.O.G.E.R.A pilots or M.O.G.E.R.A pilot team. So yeah, overall the sculpt is really amazing. And now moving on to the paint application, it's really reminiscent of what M.O.G.E.R.A looks like in the movie. So they didn't really do any shortcuts or whatnot. I love the details on the eyes. I love the details on the antenna, the drill. Everything works amazing. And to top it all off, even the accessories are detailed really well. So there's really no shortcuts here and there that you could see on how they did this figure. The effect parts, really well made and really painted with realism in mind. So really good job by SH Monsterarts. And I'm not sure if you could find any of these anymore. Like, I don't think Bandai does this anymore. Like the stands, the Tamashii stands, the details on these are amazing. We should get some pointers on how they did the building, so maybe we could 3D print some of them in the future. Anyway, so yeah, overall, and the beam effect, there is a little bit of gloss and a little bit of glitter going on the beam to highlight a lot of the details of the beam, which is really nice. I mean, you could see where the blast happened, those hints of silver on the blue. It's amazing. So this is really top-notch SH Monsterarts quality. Anyway, in terms of articulation, the head is connected by a ball joint, so it could move side to side, a little bit of up and down. although it is really hindered by the sculpt of the head more than anything. The arms are basically a ratchet joint, you could hear it, and then it also moves by a ball joint connected to the ratchet. So there is a great deal of motion going on, and then the gaps are basically filled by the shoulders right here. So the shoulders has a swivel, the shoulder pads has a swivel to allow it to move side to side and cover the gaps. So pretty cool. The elbows is connected by a hinge, and then as I've mentioned earlier, the hands, the wrist are connected by a peg here. As for the neck, there is no neck movement, basically just the head to move side to side. The waist, could do a little bit of an ab crunch there, side to side motion. Do take note that the saw blade could hit the sides, so when you're moving it, just be mindful of the motion that you are making. So it's connected by a ball joint, I think, but yeah, because of the sculpt, so it's pretty much limited. But for a giant robot, it's not really gonna make like solid movements or whatnot. And then the tail, so it can move up and down, left and right. And then the second section of the tail is connected by a hinge. And then I failed to mention that earlier, the details on the ends, like boosters on the tail and on the feet, they're there, and it's amazing. There's like a red paint going on so that's really cool. And finally, on the legs, so for the legs, you could actually move it side to side, front and back again, and then there's a knee motion using a hinge, and then there's a hinge also on the foot to allow you to do some dynamic poses on the figure. So yeah, in terms of articulation, again, SH Monsterarts quality, it's top notch. There's really a great deal of motion that you could do with the figure. One thing to note though is that because of probably the weight of the figure, and because it's pretty old, right? Like it's a 10-year-old figure, the joints tend to be loose over time. So you do be mindful on moving the figure. Now, another thing that I want to point out is the saw blades on Mogera's back. So the saw blades are pretty sharp. So if you are planning to give this to a kid, do take note that the saw blades are pretty sharp. The drills, not that much, but the saw blades, pretty sharp. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what the figure looks like. And what we're gonna do next is we are gonna show you how the figure stacks up with the other figures that you might have in your collection. Okay, so this is how the SH Monsterarts MOGERA stack up with the other figures that you might have in your collection. So here we have the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 1989 and the NECA Burning Godzilla from the 1995 movie Godzilla vs. Destroya. So as you can see, they stack up really well. So the MOGERA stands at around almost 6.5 inches tall. So it's a perfect fit with your 6-inch figures. Okay, so my final thoughts about the SH Monsterarts MOGERA. It's an awesome set. We're basically seeing the golden age of SH Monsterarts here. They were producing quality figures. They didn't cut corners. They were very generous in giving out accessories and effect parts. Even the Tamashi stand is a mini diorama. They were producing top-notch packaging during the time. So, you know, it's what you would want for on a figure. And to top it all off, it only costs, the original price for this figure was 80 bucks. So that's around 4,000 during that time, that's around 4,000 pesos. And for the same amount of money nowadays, if you buy an SH Monsterarts figure, you're just gonna get this Godzilla figure. Doesn't have any effect parts, just the Godzilla figure. Back then, 2012, you got this figure, all of the effect parts that we've just mentioned. It could transform into the flying pose. Yes, you could say that it's still incomplete because Mogera is basically two parts. So you have the land Mogera and the star Falcon, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a flying form and then there's a land form, and then they combine to make Mogera. But yeah, that's the only thing that's missing. And for the price, it's really bang for the buck during the time. And basically this is what made SH Monsterarts famous. So you get a great deal on the price and you get so much out of it, so many accessories, so many effect parts, and you could really enjoy your collection. So I hope that, you know, SH Monsterarts will do it again. They are releasing generously, like, I mean, more effect parts or more figures, like the 50th anniversary of Hedorah. Yeah, but dude, that's like 250 bucks though. So, you know, it's not really 80 bucks like M.O.G.E.R.A. So, yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, yeah, it's an awesome figure, and I'm really glad to be able to review this figure for you guys. Again, special shout out to Sir Eric Fulion for hooking us up with this figure. It's been my pleasure to review this figure for all of you. So yeah. Okay, so at this point you should be seeing the shout outs on today's video. If you want to be included on the next roll call, all you need to do is drop us a comment down below, show us some love, subscribe to the channel. By the way, you could also join our membership. So for a small fee, you would be helping our channel grow, and at the same time, you will enjoy some cool perks, some awesome freebies, and some exclusive content courtesy of yours truly, the Howlist. So yeah, you could also check us out on our other social media platform. We are available on Facebook, the Howlist. You could also check us out on our Instagram account, the_Howlist. So yeah, I guess that's it for me, folks. Again, thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for supporting our channel, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.